The stars stretched endlessly across the black sky as the human exploration fleet glided into the uncharted system. Captain Jaren stood on the bridge of the flagship Endeavour, his eyes scanning the displays that showed readings of planets, moons, and energy signatures unlike anything humans had seen before. "This system is unusual," said Lieutenant Kara, leaning over a console. "The energy readings don't match any known star chart. No civilization detected." "Yet," Jaren nodded. "Humans had always been explorers. They did not settle for what they already knew. They sought the unknown, the places where no human or alien had set foot before. But something about this system felt different. There was a tension, subtle, but unmistakable. Suddenly, the fleet's communication system flickered. A message appeared on every screen, not in human language, but in a pattern of light pulses and tones. Lieutenant Kara worked quickly, running it through the fleet's translation algorithms. "It's a warning," she said, her voice tight. "The message says, 'Attack the humans at your peril, they will never let you escape.'" The words echoed across the bridge, and for a moment, silence held the crew. Warnings like these were rare. Most civilizations, if they noticed humans, responded with curiosity or hostility. But never with this intensity. Jaren leaned back in his chair, considering. "Curious," he muttered. "Someone is watching us. And they are very serious about keeping us safe, or at least telling us not to provoke anyone. Prepare a landing team. We need to know who sent this." The human shuttle descended onto the surface of a planet orbiting the system's main star. The atmosphere was thin, breathable with some assistance. And the landscape was strange. Jagged crystal formations jutted from the ground, reflecting the pale light of the distant sun. Pools of liquid shimmered in colors no human eye had ever seen. When the shuttle touched down, the crew disembarked slowly, scanning for life forms. There were no signs of immediate danger. Then, a figure appeared on a nearby ridge. It was humanoid but taller than any human, with skin that shimmered like polished metal and eyes that glowed faintly with intelligence. Captain Jaren raised his hand. "I am Captain Jaren of Earth. We come in peace." The figure tilted its head, observing them. After a moment, it spoke. The voice was calm but carried authority. "I am Zyra, leader of the Velyari. You have entered our territory." Humans looked at each other, trying to hide their surprise. Zyra and her kind were known in legend, rarely encountered. Immensely powerful, and always cautious. "You sent the warning," Jaren said. "Why?" Zyra's eyes seemed to pierce through him. "Because you are dangerous, not in malice, but in will. Humanity does not yield, not even when survival seems impossible. Your species fights, adapts, and endures in ways that many civilizations cannot comprehend. I warned others who might attack you, they would not survive your determination." Jaren paused. "So you know who we are?" "We have observed your species for many years," Zyra replied. "From afar. We have seen your wars, your explorations, your triumphs over impossible odds. You are unusual. That is why we sent the warning. It is not a threat. It is advice." The humans listened, fascinated and wary. They had never been told that another species considered them dangerous enough that a message of caution was needed. "What about your species?" Lieutenant Kara asked. "Are you friendly to humans?" Zyra's gaze softened slightly. "We are observers, not conquerors. We do not interfere unless the balance of the universe is at risk. We wish to warn our neighbors. Some are not patient. Some are not wise. You must understand the galaxy has many who would see humans destroyed before understanding them." Jaren nodded slowly. "We seek peace. We want to understand. But we cannot ignore threats either." "Well," Zyra's eyes narrowed, almost imperceptibly. "Understand this, Captain Jaren. Your species will not flee when danger comes. You will not surrender. That is why I warned others. You fight when others would escape. You endure when others would surrender. And that is why some will come for you, and why they will fail. The humans looked at each other. This was more than a warning. It was a recognition. A rare acknowledgement from a species that considered survival and intelligence above all else. Over the next few days, humans explored the planet, careful not to disrupt the delicate ecosystem. Zyra allowed them to observe the cities of the Valyari from a distance. The structures were elegant, tall, and reflective, built not only for function but for beauty. Technology was everywhere, but it was subtle, integrated into the landscape without violence or aggression. As they observed, Jaren and his team recorded everything. This was not just exploration. It was first contact with a species far older and wiser than humans. One evening, Zyra appeared again before the human team. "You must prepare," she said. "Not all who travel to this system will heed my warning. Some will come to test you. They believe humans are weak. They will learn otherwise." "What kind of threat?" Kara asked. "An armada," Zyra replied. "Ships designed for war. Fleets that believe conquest is their right. They do not know you. They underestimate the human spirit. They will pay for that mistake." Jaren felt a chill. Humans had faced enemies before, both on Earth and in the colonies. But nothing like this. An entire armada meant to test, challenge, or destroy them. Yet, a spark of determination lit in his chest. This was humanity's way. They never ran from danger. They never gave up. "Then we will be ready," he said firmly. "We will show them exactly who we are." Zyra regarded him quietly for a moment. "I hope you survive what comes. I hope the galaxy learns what I have known. Humans, they endure. They adapt. They fight. And once they commit, they do not yield." The next day, scouts from the human fleet detected unusual movements in the outer system. Massive energy signatures indicated the approach of ships, unlike any human technology. Their size alone suggested a fleet capable of immense destruction. Captain Jaren convened his officers. "We don't know who they are yet, but Zyra warned us. This is likely the armada she mentioned. Prepare all defenses, launch patrols, and remember, they underestimate us. That will be their first mistake." The humans worked tirelessly, running drills, calibrating weapons, and preparing their fleet. There was tension, yes, but also a quiet confidence. They had faced adversity before, on Earth and beyond. Humans did not surrender. They did not retreat. And if the Valyari were right, that would make them unpredictable and powerful. As night fell on the planet, Zyra approached Jaren one last time before the fleet returned to orbit. "Remember, Captain," she said softly, "this warning is not for you alone. It is for all who would attempt to destroy humanity. You are dangerous to those who assume they are stronger. You will fight, and you will endure. That is your gift and your curse." Jaren nodded. "Thank you, Zyra. Your warning is clear. We will honor it." The humans returned to their fleet, eyes on the approaching threat. The stars that had once seemed infinite now felt like the stage for a coming conflict. But humans did not fear the unknown. They adapted, they endured, and as Zyra had said, once they committed, they did not yield. The Endeavor and its fleet moved into formation, ready to face whatever came next. The Valyari watched from above, and for the first time, humanity's true potential as a species, resilient, clever, unyielding, was recognized. Above all, Captain Jaren felt a quiet pride. Humans were about to show the galaxy why they were not a species to be underestimated. And far beyond the stars, the first signals of the approaching armada flickered into existence. They had no idea what waited for them. The warning had been given. The Endeavor hovered in orbit above the crystal-studded planet, its crew tense but alert. Captain Jaren's eyes never left the view screen as a massive energy signature appeared on the edge of the system. Hundreds of ships, sleek and menacing, moved in formation. The armada had arrived. Lieutenant Kara frowned. "Captain, They're moving fast. Their numbers. We've never seen anything like this. Jaren's jaw tightened. Numbers alone don't win battles. Stay calm. Prepare the fleet. This is what humans do, we adapt and fight. The alien fleet of the Velyari moved cautiously, maintaining distance. Zyra's voice came over the comm, calm but firm. Captain, these are the Tyralis. They believe their technology and numbers make them unstoppable. That is their first mistake. I warn you again. Humans, you are not like other species. They will learn that soon. Jaren nodded. Understood. Let's show them who we are. The Tyralis ships advanced like a black wave, their weapons glinting in the dim light of the system's sun. The humans had smaller numbers, but their ships were agile, equipped with rapid repair systems and adaptive shielding. The first exchange of fire began almost immediately. Laser bolts streaked across space, hitting the Tyralis ships. Many exploded spectacularly, though the majority continued their advance. Humans maneuvered with surprising precision, slipping between enemy formations. Their fleet moved like a living organism. Coordinated, yet flexible. Captain, they're trying to flank us, Kara shouted. Let them come, Jaren said calmly. We're ready. And remember, expect the unexpected. Meanwhile, on the planet, Zyra watched the humans in awe. The Velyari had seen many civilizations rise and fall. But humans were different. They did not panic. They did not flee when faced with overwhelming odds. They calculated, adapted, and moved with a combination of courage and creativity no other species possessed. They fight with intelligence. And with heart, Zyra whispered. They will not yield. I hope the galaxy is ready. The battle raged through the orbit. Humans used their environment strategically. Asteroid fields and energy clouds became natural shields. Small squads of human ships darted through narrow spaces, disabling Tyralis weapons and communication arrays. Each strike seemed precise, almost too clever to be believed by the enemy commanders. On board the Endeavor, Captain Jaren led a strike team personally. Kara, take a squad with me. We'll board their flagship and disable their main control system. It's the fastest way to turn this fight in our favor. Lieutenant Kara's eyes widened. Boarding? Captain, that's extremely dangerous. Jaren smiled faintly. Danger is what humans do best. We adapt, we fight, and we survive. Let's go. Using a combination of stealth technology and expert piloting, Jaren and his team boarded the Tyralis flagship. The interior was cold and mechanical, filled with alien soldiers who were well-trained but unprepared for humans' unconventional tactics. Jaren's squad moved swiftly. They avoided large confrontations, disabling power conduits, jamming communication lines, and hacking critical systems. Their movements were coordinated like a dance, fast, precise, and lethal. When the Tyralis captain finally realized the breach, it was too late. Systems were failing, weapons offline, and the human squad had already slipped out, leaving chaos behind. Back in orbit, the human fleet pressed their advantage. Without their flagship's coordination, the Tyralis ships struggled to maintain formation. Humans struck at weak points, exploiting mistakes the enemy never expected. Every human pilot seemed to anticipate the enemy's moves before they happened. Zyra's voice came over the comm again. Captain Jaren, this is extraordinary. Your species, you are not just resilient. You are cunning, adaptable, and fearless. I warned them, but I did not know how truly remarkable humans are. Jaren nodded. We've faced impossible odds before. Numbers and technology are only part of the equation. Creativity, courage, and teamwork. That's what makes humans strong. The Tyralis armada began to falter. Some ships retreated, while others tried to regroup. The humans did not chase recklessly. Instead, they maintained pressure, cutting off retreat routes while keeping their fleet in tight formation. Every maneuver was calculated. Captain Jaren realized that the key to victory was not destruction but strategy and adaptability. He ordered smaller strike teams to disable engines on the largest enemy ships, while other teams attacked weapons systems. Slowly, the Tyrallis Armada's superiority dissolved. Meanwhile, on the planet's surface, Zyra mobilized her people in support. Velyari drones and defensive systems provided intelligence and assisted the humans from orbit, creating a combined force far more effective than either species alone. Zyra's careful observation and guidance allowed humans to anticipate enemy movements and respond before the Tyrallis could adapt. This alliance, it is working, Zyra said, eyes shining with admiration. Your species is extraordinary, Captain Jaren. Not just in strength or technology, but in spirit. Jaren gave a small nod. We're not just surviving, Zyra. We're proving that humans do not yield. Ever. Ever. The turning point came when a Tyrallis ship tried to flee the battle, hoping to regroup and call reinforcements. Jaren immediately sent a small team. Using fast, maneuverable ships to intercept, the humans disabled the engines and left the ship drifting helplessly. Every action the humans took sent a clear message. They did not retreat, they did not surrender, and they did not accept defeat. The Tyrallis commanders, unprepared for such resilience, began to panic. They underestimate us, Kara said quietly. They really underestimated humans. Exactly, Jaren replied. That is their greatest mistake. Hours into the battle, the Tyrallis Armada began a disorganized retreat. Their ships were damaged, systems offline, morale shattered. Humans had proven that intelligence, courage, and adaptability could overcome superior numbers. Captain Jaren looked at the view of the retreating fleet. He felt a mix of relief and pride. The human spirit had shone brightly. But he knew this was only the beginning. Other species in the galaxy might attempt similar attacks. Unaware of humans' resilience, Zyra approached him in orbit, her expression calm but filled with admiration. Captain Jaren, the Tyrallis have learned a lesson they will not forget. They believed their technology and numbers made them superior. They underestimated what humans can do when driven by courage and determination. Jaren smiled. Thank you, Zyra. Your warning, it helped us prepare. But it is our people, our will, that made the difference. Humans do not yield, even when faced with impossible odds. Zyra's eyes glimmered. I have warned others about your species before. I will continue to do so. But now, they will understand in ways they cannot ignore. Humans are a force of nature. They survive, they endure, and they fight like no other species. As the human fleet repaired damages and reorganized, the Velyari offered assistance. Humans worked alongside the aliens, sharing tactics, combining intelligence, and learning from each other. It was a partnership built on mutual respect, forged in the fires of battle. On board the Endeavor, Captain Jaren addressed his crew. Today, we showed the galaxy what humans are capable of. We fought when others would have fled. We adapted when others would have panicked. And we survived against overwhelming odds. Remember this feeling. Remember the lesson: we do not yield. We endure. And that will always give us an advantage. Zyra spoke privately with Jaren later. Captain, humans are remarkable. You do not just fight with technology, but with mind, heart, and spirit. I warned others, but I did not truly know how unstoppable your species could be when united. The galaxy will see your strength now. And many will learn, the hard way, that humans do not surrender. Jaren nodded solemnly. We will continue to explore, to meet others, to understand. And if any species challenges humanity, they will face the same truth. We adapt. We endure. We fight. And we do not yield. As the last Tyrallis ships fled, a quiet tension fell over the system. The humans had won the battle, but the war of perception across the galaxy was just beginning. Stories of human ingenuity, bravery, and resilience would spread, carrying a warning to all. Underestimate humans at your own peril. On the bridge of the Endeavor, Jaren looked at the stars. thinking of the countless systems yet unexplored, the civilizations yet unknown, and the challenges yet to come. The universe was vast, dangerous, and full of opportunity. And humans would face it all. Not with fear, but with courage, intelligence, and unwavering resolve. The Valyari had observed. The Tyralis had fled, and the galaxy had begun to learn a vital lesson. Humanity was unlike any species it had known. Humans did not just survive, humans endured, humans thrived, and no enemy, no matter how powerful, could make them flee. The aftermath of the battle left the system quiet, almost peaceful. But the tension in the air was palpable. The Tyralis armada had retreated, their ships damaged and morale broken. Yet the humans and the Valyari knew this was not the end. Other forces in the galaxy would hear of what had happened, and some would be curious to test humanity themselves. Captain Jaren stood on the bridge of the Endeavor, looking at the stars. The crew moved efficiently around him, repairing systems, restocking supplies, and tending to minor injuries. Despite the fatigue etched into their faces, there was a quiet pride in their movements. They had faced overwhelming odds and emerged victorious, not just through technology, but through creativity, courage, and teamwork. Lieutenant Kara approached, holding a tablet with reports from reconnaissance drones. "Captain, the Tyralis are retreating. But I've picked up energy signatures from several nearby systems. They're watching us, and likely learning from the battle." Jaren nodded. "Let them watch. Let them learn. We don't just survive, Kara. We endure. That's the difference." Meanwhile, Zyra had gathered her council on the surface of the planet. The Valyari had watched humanity fight, and the results had been more than impressive. They were astonishing. "They are unlike any species we have ever seen," Zyra said quietly, addressing her advisors. "They do not fear death. They do not yield. They fight with courage and intelligence." The Tyralis believed their strength alone would be enough. They were wrong. A senior Valyari council member tilted her head. "But what does this mean for the galaxy, Zyra? Other civilizations may challenge them. If humans are as relentless as you claim, we may see wars unlike any we've known." Zyra's eyes glimmered. "Yes. And that is why we must observe, guide, and, if necessary, ally with them. Humanity is a species that could change the balance of power in the galaxy, not through conquest, but through determination, ingenuity, and will." The humans spent the next few days repairing their fleet and sharing technology and knowledge with the Valyari. The aliens were eager to learn about human strategies, improvisation, and adaptability. In return, humans gained access to Valyari information about the galaxy navigation routes, energy sources, and intelligence about other civilizations. Captain Jaren walked among the engineers and pilots, observing their work. "Every challenge we face is an opportunity," he said to Lieutenant Kara. "We learn, we adapt, and we improve. That's what humans do. That's why we survive today. And that's why we will survive in the future." Kara smiled. "It's remarkable, Captain. The Valyari trust us now. They recognize our value. I wonder, do they realize how extraordinary we really are?" Jaren chuckled softly. "I think they are beginning to understand. But the galaxy will have its chance to learn too, whether willingly or not." A few days later, Zyra requested a private meeting with Captain Jaren aboard the Endeavor. The Valyari leader appeared in her usual calm, composed manner, her eyes reflecting the soft light of the planet below. "Captain Jaren," she said, "humans have proven something remarkable. You do not fight like others. You think, adapt, and endure. You inspire others through courage, not through fear. I warned my people about your species, but even I did not fully anticipate the depth of your resilience." Jaren bowed slightly. "Thank you, Zyra. We never seek to impress, only to survive and understand. But it seems survival has its own kind of proof." Zyra nodded. "Indeed. Humanity has a reputation now, not of aggression, but of endurance. Any who underestimate you will find themselves humbled. That is why I propose a more formal alliance. Jaren's eyes narrowed slightly. Alliance? Yes, Zyra replied. Your species is unique. The galaxy is full of civilizations that would exploit or destroy weaker species. You are strong, not just in technology, but in will. With humans and Valyuri working together, we can create a balance of protection and knowledge. We can help ensure peace, or at least prevent unnecessary destruction. Jaren considered her words. An alliance with the Valyuri could provide humanity with unprecedented insight into the galaxy, while also establishing trust and respect among other species. We accept, he said finally. But know this, humans are independent. We work with others, but we do not surrender our principles. Zyra's smile was faint but approving. That is precisely why I admire your species. Humans are free in spirit, yet loyal when they choose to be. This alliance will be based on respect, mutual benefit, and trust, and I believe it will last longer than most in the galaxy. Over the following weeks, the humans and Valyuri worked side by side. Humans shared their methods of rapid adaptation, improvisation in combat, and creative problem-solving. The Valyuri shared their advanced technologies, navigational charts, and intelligence on galactic politics. Together, they established a small, secure zone in the star system, a combination of human ingenuity and Valyuri foresight. During this time, word of the humans' battle spread across nearby systems. Alien species who had heard only rumors now had reports of humans overcoming overwhelming odds, surviving impossible situations, and outsmarting a technologically superior enemy. The reputation of humanity began to grow not through conquest, but through skill, courage, and determination. On the Endeavor, Captain Jaren reflected on everything that had happened. He spoke to his crew one evening as the stars shimmered around them. We faced a fleet meant to destroy us. We adapted, fought, and survived. That is what humans do. We do not flee. We do not surrender. We endure. And that endurance, combined with intelligence and teamwork, makes us stronger than numbers alone can measure. The crew listened, their faces lit by the soft glow of the consoles. They knew he was right. They had seen it themselves. Every small victory, every maneuver that saved a ship, every strategy that confused the enemy, it all added up to a proof that humans were not to be underestimated. Zyra observed the humans closely during this time. She had spent centuries watching the rise and fall of civilizations, but none had matched the human spirit. They were fearless yet strategic, bold yet calculated, resilient yet adaptive. You have shown the galaxy what humans are capable of, she said to Jaren during one of their discussions. And yet, there is more potential within your species. You can inspire, protect, and change the course of history in ways few can imagine. But you must remain true to yourselves. Never let fear or greed dictate your actions. That is your greatest strength. Jaren nodded. We will remember, Zyra. Humanity learns from every experience. And we will continue to grow stronger not just for ourselves, but for all who rely on our courage and resilience. As the alliance solidified, new challenges emerged. Other alien species who had observed the battle began sending envoys to the system, some with curiosity, others with caution. Humans met each encounter with the same principles: respect, intelligence, and preparedness. In each meeting, humans demonstrated ingenuity and confidence. They shared knowledge, negotiated wisely, and showed that while they sought peace, they would not be intimidated. Across the galaxy, the lesson was clear. Humans were not weak. Humans were not predictable. Humans could not be easily defeated. Zyra stood beside Captain Jaren as one particularly curious envoy left the system. Do you see? She said quietly. They have learned what I warned them about. But this time, they have learned from observation, not destruction. Humans inspire respect through action and courage. Jaren smiled. That is humanity's way. We do not need to conquer. We only need to endure, to adapt, and to prove that we are capable of more than anyone believes. Weeks turned into months, and the system became a symbol of collaboration and preparation. Humans and Valyari worked together to strengthen defenses, share knowledge, and explore the surrounding star systems. The humans' reputation grew steadily, reaching civilizations that had once dismissed them as weak or insignificant. For Captain Jaren, the greatest lesson was clear. Technology, numbers, or firepower alone could not define a species. What made humans extraordinary was their spirit, their adaptability, and their determination to endure. Any who doubted them would discover the truth: humans never yielded, and once committed, they could not be stopped. As he looked out into the stars, Jaren felt a quiet pride. Humanity had been recognized by one of the galaxy's oldest and wisest species. They had survived a fleet meant to destroy them. They had proven themselves worthy of alliance, respect, and attention. And far beyond the systems they now guarded and explored, countless eyes watched, some with curiosity, some with caution, and some with the faintest hint of fear. The message was clear: underestimate humans at your own peril. They do not flee, they do not surrender, they endure. And the galaxy would soon understand that humans were a species unlike any other, a species that, once challenged, would rise, adapt, and never yield. Captain Jaren turned to his crew, standing ready on the bridge. "The galaxy will test us again," he said quietly. "And when it does, they will learn the same truth we proved today. Humans are unstoppable when we fight together. Remember this moment. Remember who we are. The universe is vast, but we are ready." The stars stretched endlessly, full of mysteries, dangers, and opportunities, and humanity, recognized for its courage, intelligence, and resilience, was ready to meet them all. The warning had been given long ago, and now the galaxy knew the truth. Attack the humans at your peril, they will never let you escape.